So welcome to this track guide video with the Mercedes GT4 at Zandvoort. So as you can see, we're approaching turn 1. My braking point is between the pole and the 100 sign. So hard on the brakes initially, and then we want to trail off in the corner. As you can see, it has a nice banking to it, so you can push in quite hard. Then for the apex, I try and use the end of the pit exit wall. As you can see right here, that's where I try to apex. You can see it slightly miss it, but no worries there. Then turn 2 is gonna be a easy flat turn. Keep it here on the inside. Put the car on. Brake it near the end. So we're not gonna use 100% because we want to try and steer into the right as soon as possible. Use some trail braking, trying to keep the car turned. So here for turn 3, this is quite an important corner because it's flat out after it through the dunes. So as you can see right here, I'm staying just on the right side of the middle. Then going into the turn, I'm going slightly back to the right. I want to go up, get close to the white line. Don't go over it because as you can see, there is a slight difference here in the angle. So run the outside line. Was a bit aggressive here on the curve because there is a slight bump in this area. But as you can see, the car gets a little bit loose, but I can keep it on. Then through the dunes, it's just flat out. So watch out here. As you can see, there's a bump on the exit of this curve, so try and go a little bit around it if possible. Then you want to aim slightly after the marshal post. As you can see, then you get to the curb, and at the end of the curb, that's going to be our braking point. So initially 50%, 60% brakes, and then we want to trail off and try to trail as long as possible to get the car rotation here to the curb. Early on the throttle. Then we want to cut this curb as much as we can, and right at the end we will have a braking marker where we will go back to third gear. Then in this corner it feels like quite a weird corner because it has a tight apex, but we want to try and hit the outside curb but not the inside sausage because that will make your car go airborne. So nicely get the rotation. As soon as you hit the curb, go on throttle, be aggressive, let the car run wide. Then run the curb till you get to the, I use the 50 marker. So when I get to the 50 marker, hit the brakes and aim for the inside curb. Again, try to trail brake, use to get as much rotation as possible. Little bit of oversteer here. I usually don't want to run too far to the outside because we want to set up the next left-hander quite nicely. As you can see, I'm a bit too far over. It's hard to get the car settled here. Again, this is quite a hard corner because every corner we've been in, most of them are cambered. This is pretty slow, long, flat turns now. Tires are quite hot. Put on the inside, straight line it out to get traction. Then we want to cross over to the left. Keep a little bit of distance here so we can straight line it onto the curb. Brake slightly before we hit the curb. Then go on the curb to open up the chicane as much as possible. Brake hard initially. Then as you can see, we can cut the curb here. You can cut it quite aggressively, but you want to use a little bit of throttle to make the front end go light, and it's going to be easier to get over this curb. Then a slight brake tap here to get the car nicely settled. Again, we have a lot of camber here, so the car really compresses into it. And then as soon as I clear the gravel here on the inside, I want to go on throttle. Let the car run as far outside as I can. Then we get to probably the most important corner of the track. It's the second to last corner, but the last corner is just going to be flat out. So we're going to be aiming here for that little dip. That's my braking marker. So brake and going to be aggressive here on the exit. Go all the way to the gravel. And then run the inside line as far as I can. Let it track out. And that's going to be a lap at Zandvoort. So on this lap I did a 38.9. So yeah, that's going to be plenty to prepare for your next race here at Zandvoort.